Всем привет. Hi all. I think that we can do this call in Russian if nobody minds. I don't know what the number of calls we have today. Итак, давайте, наверное, тогда по-русски.
Maybe Noam would be interested in listening the recording, so let's.
Okay, I'm fine with English as well. Okay, so I don't know, do we have an agenda for today, because I didn't expect that Alex will not lead this call. He, by the way, had some accident with the bike, so he was in hospital, but he's fine. So anyway, could anyone say what we would like to discuss?
Well, usually we're starting the call and asking if anyone wants to propose something on the agenda, and if no one participates, then the call makes no sense. So we can just finish if there are no proposals or questions.
Okay, I agree, but usually we start from agenda prepared by Alex. But anyway, does anybody would like to say something, to propose something to agenda?
No, there are no news. I don't so.
Okay, silence.
Well, I have a question, but it's more like an open-ended question for discussion. So I'd like to go the last, because it can. It's like an open discussion and not really a particular proposal.
Okay, so it looks like there are no proposals for agenda, but there are some questions. I also have some questions regarding what's going on with that notification contest. I mean, if somebody can comment on that as well. Mitya, are you do you know something about notifications contest? Because there was a discussion last week, quite intense, and I thought that it should be ready for the vote.
I don't know about anything about that contest. I mean, I provided my input in the very beginning of the work of the notification. I reviewed the architecture that we have proposed, and there were some people in the community who implemented, and we also implemented part of that, but I'm not following what's happening with that right now within the DevX subgov. It was Katya who did overview that. She's not on the call, so if you need an input from us, then you should invite Katya to the call, I guess.
Okay, could you please invite Katya for the next call at least, because we need really need to get contact.
Well, I think that's the like, who is coordinating the subgov? I mean, I'm not.
Alex and
anyone else, like because I'm not going to do that. Like, I cannot do that.
Invite Katya. Okay, I can.
Including that.
on the call. I actually didn't expect that Alex would participate. Okay, so this is clear.
Well, we can ask Alex to invite Katya for the next call. That's easy.
I can do it as well. So next question, from Boris, please.
Yeah. So my question was, if you were to work with a smart contract system providing file system capabilities as with a file server, what kind of commands, what kind of functionality would you need in the first place? Just imagine a file server with a remote access, like SSH or maybe FTP. something which you log into, and you get a general Unix shell with some commands. First of all, do you need it or not? Second, if you do, what kind of commands, what kind of actions would you like to do in Unix-like fashion to work with files inside a smart contract transparently?
Well, I suppose that people work locally on their machines
Huh?
with smart contracts,
Yes.
but if the smart contracts involves some really huge data processing, for example, etc., then maybe there is so that there will be needed some interface, because we have TVM representation of internal state of the blockchain, and we have like human readable, and this is two separate things. So there should be a basic tool set for like communicating with data in internal data structures.
Right. So my question is, what would you expect of this toolset in terms of functionality? You described it perfectly well. That's exactly what
Well, I would expect maybe some clear tool, which called, for example,
Ivan, I don't hear you anymore. Hey.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh. Ivan, we can't hear you anymore. Please speak up.
Oh, by the way, Naam is coming. Sorry, I didn't see
I
him
know.
before. Naam, hi.
Hi, do we have anything to discuss? Because I didn't see any agenda. And also ours. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We discussed quickly that notification contest. We need Katya to finalize it and come to the call. I hope to the next call. And then there was a question from Boris. But I cannot repeat it. So nothing, not much.
Yeah, no, please talk to Boris, because I have low battery on my phone. So
Oh.
please, Boris, ask the same question to Noam. I think that we may be on the same track.
Yes, thank you very much. Ivan, you have the question is, if you were to work with a file system in smart contract as with a remote server, what kind of instructions would you need? And Ivan has stated that he needs it to be fully transparent and independent of TM data types. And that's exactly what I'm working on. So what kind of operations? Obviously, CPU, copy files, LS, and like what else?
If you have permission-based files, then it's useful to copy files, because you sometimes would want to make a copy with broader permissions. For example, say in general, that's a useful thing.
Non-copy, do you mean copy from your local computer to the file system and copy from the contract file system to your local computer?
No, that's what I would call download and upload. I meant duplicating a file.
Yeah.
It sounds at first thought like it's not useful, but when you have many revisions, might be useful. You want to keep editing the same file and yet preserve some version in order to get others to comment on it or something.
Oh, so file versioning, right? Okay, thank you.
Also, if you have a Git repository based on such file system, then when you merge, you basically copy things from your own fork to the upstream, right?
Right, but that's what I haven't implemented yet because it's a separate part. It's more like a software using this file system.
Yeah, of course. But that software would need to copy files, I think. I'm not sure, but
yeah. Copy file is implemented. Basically, I have 56 commands implemented in like more or less, and CP is like almost fully implemented, except CP -r, which recurs. That I.
Okay. One more thing that could be useful is file manipulation on chain. I mean, sometimes you might want to change a few things. I mean, only some small things, but in a way that could be guaranteed, in a certain way that would be guaranteed by the smart contract. So one way, the complicated way to do that is to make a proof, to submit a proof to the smart contract that everything you've changed is according to certain rules. But an easier option would be just to have the smart contract make the changes itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I fully agree. So what kind of operations would you need? Cat, right? Concatenating files together. Grep, probably. Filtering contents. Head and tail. Taking beginning.
I think I would like to have just Vim or none.
Oh, just Vim inside smart contracts.
Yeah. I want to have like X Windows system, for example, and click on the graphical buttons.
I'm sorry. That's far beyond my current abilities yet.
Why would you want Vim anyway?
I understand. I understand that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that
we will support that in Surf, guys.
Yes. Yeah, that's obvious. But like for Boris to fulfill his kind of tasks, I think that he just needs to create some MVP of, for example, basic CLI tools which he perfectly knows in Linux, and that's just it. And then they will be wrapped, like kind of maybe our Nikita Monachov will wrap it into some dbot, and then there will be some MVP of really kind of powerful operation system sort of stuff.
Yeah, Ivan, thank you. That's right. That's fully correct, because the system is designed the way to minimize and standardize the interfaces, making it really easy to convert into to attach the bots to.
So yeah, so write something on top of which we can launch a dbot contest, for example, and run a contest on creating like dbots on top of, for example, file system.
That's a great idea, and yes, there are several aspects, and you can have text processing, you can have file manipulation, you can have system status read, utility user management. And
so let's start with ls.
Okay. Also a good start. Are you aware that that's the largest code base command? It's over like 250 kilobytes in source. Okay, but yeah, I have it mostly implemented. Yeah, so yeah, LS is a very nice candidate.
I just didn't heard. Am I aware of what?
That's the most the comment which has the most source code of all Unix core utilities.
Ah, yeah. Maybe I kind of understand it because it's kind of searches for different domains, including file attributes, files themselves, collects like a virtual tree of nodes, right?
Exactly, that's exactly what it does, and the size is due to the enormous amount of different options.
Yeah, there are a lot of options. So maybe some showcase some smart contract system which will be suitable for like kind of developer friendly introducement of new options into like commands which developer like what. So something on top of some way. So we need to show a way for a developer to write his own CLI tools for Thomas. So that's
maybe better. Maybe graphical file explorer on top of.
Well, no.
Right? No?
This graphical stuff will kind of like evolve itself. For now, there is no kind of step-by-step guide of for example, using the file system in a way so you can create your CLI tool, for example, which will communicate to or kind of say dbot. You can create a dbot which will just call the for example system calls this, or file system calls or create files or but we have parts of it, but we don't have like it the full stack application like hello world application, for example, or uploading the hello world to the blockchain and cut hello world or ls hello world, something like that.
Yeah,
and
right.
how to create own attributes, for example. I don't understand the majority of, I reviewed the code of Tonix, and there are places which are not really understandable, like for example symbols A, B, C, D, E. There is the place where you're defining this variables, and
I'll definitely put
really
comments on top
what
of
that
it.
means, but that's okay. That's your way of writing stuff.
Putting compatible options, one digit, all into one uint by bitmask, setting the respective bit respective to ASCII symbol number. Yeah, I'll put the comments.
Yeah. Untangling this code, it's another story. For now, I wanted to say that, for example, I want to create a new option. Let's say it will be encoded with letter T, and it will plug in some like new functionality in my tool. And then what kind of foundation system of contracts or patterns should I implement or use to communicate that to kind of the environment which I have? You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And currently, you have to edit in 3 different places, unfortunately. First one, well, maybe it's not that much, because first one is the command line parsing, which makes sure your option is known to the program. because it's filtered right on the option parsing. Second is the function processing itself, which recognizes the option and does something on it. And third is the manual pages, which contains the description of this option. So you have to add a new option in 3 different parts.
So maybe let's add some short README file on how to contribute to Tonix, for example, to just for you to, like, maybe someone wants to reiterate on the same stuff and make a pull request, but they don't know any entry points. So a few words about how to how to add code to the system, basic stuff. It's maybe that will be very appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Because when I don't know how to launch and how to improve the system, how should I answer the question? What do I need? Do I need a less? Do I need concatenating? Do I need? I don't know what I need. I just really don't understand how this works. So why should I care? Like,
okay, thank you. I got it. I will add this as well. Okay, maybe I could just demonstrate it for a minute. Just what I mean. If I can screen share. Would it be useful just to show what I mean by using the contract like a file server? Okay, perhaps not. So yeah, thank you very much for your comments. I'll definitely add this.
By the way, I'm not sure if anyone said it before, but I just entered donlab/tonix repository, and I have literally no idea how to start. There's a list of what commands are there, but I have no idea of how to use it.
Okay. So yeah, it's I haven't put it. Okay, yeah, I forgot the line called make TT, which compiles the terminal and starts it, and then it has MOTD, and then you have Phoenix line. Okay, thank you. I'll add this.
Okay.
But essentially, it starts with typing the command make, which is usual entry point.
Do we have anything else to talk about? Because I have something I wanted to ask about. Well, two things. The first thing is purely technical. I noticed that it's actually started by a mistake of mine. I thought that addresses of smart contracts are computed from code hash. Then I realized that no, you actually need the code and data and make a statement out of that and hash that. But when I investigated how how TVM hashes cells, I realized no, you actually can do it just with the code hash, because since the state init has code and data as cells, the way the hashing cells work is you first hash the children, and then hash the parent with you take the parent data, you add the depth of each child and the hash of each child. So basically, you could theoretically compute the address of a smart contract with just the code hash, and not you don't need the whole code cell. So I think I talked about it with Fabrice. I think he sent something about that to Mitya, but maybe you didn't read it yet. Oh, he's not here anymore. Anyway, I could send you my code. I just think that it's a waste sometimes to include the whole code of a smart contract in another smart contract when all you want is to verify an address. Sometimes, like tip 3, it's your own code, so it doesn't really matter. But when you're talking about something like, for example, let's say super root, not super root, but in SMV, you sometimes need to verify the address of some other contract, and to do that you need to have the code. If we can compute the address from just the code hash, why include the whole code? What do you think about that?
I think that's very right, and that's how it should be. It's a huge waste to include code, I believe, but I'm in the minority.
Okay, so I just sent my code to DevExChat. You can review it if you want. Basically, it's just an implementation of the CVM hash, but I compute the hashes without having the actual children. So of course, I don't expect people to have that boilerplate code in their smart contract, but maybe there should be something like light cell in I don't know, in Solidity or C++, which would actually be a cell that doesn't contain actual references, but only hashes and depths of the actual references. Then you could compute the hash easily, but without that bulky code. Well, I realize no one is going to comment about that, right? So another thing I wanted to talk about, when reading the white paper, there was a short talk about graphic UI and debots, because debots can't really provide a good UI. I mean, it can if what you aim for is something like Terragon bot, but if you want something that isn't chat-based you need to have something else. The white paper is saying something about that, and when talking about pipelines, but not really anything specific of how someone who wants a really decentralized DApp is supposed to make one, and how do the debuts enter all that business? What do you think?
There is no connection between Python and debot. Sorry, I kind of not listening from the start, but that's kind of.
You can comment as well, but probably Mitya is the best person to do it. Mitya,
Decentralized app, you write the debot in Solidity and it works. You need just a debot browser to execute the instructions, and that's it.
But how would you make a good UI?
Yeah, I can comment on that.
Okay.
So there is I can elaborate on that. So there is a debot engine, so-called. This is a part of SDK. This is a module, and its interface just speak with locally stored Solidity or whatever in terms of internal messages. And the internal messages are sent via so-called debot interfaces. So you implement you implement an interface, say in JavaScript, and create a good UI in terms of standard, for example, web development or mobile development or whatever you develop, whatever platform you develop on top of, and then this module will kind of download the blockchain code, execute the debot code, and via interfaces, it will speak to debot engine, and the debot engine will translate the kind of interface calls to whatever SDK operations and these operations will be executed kind of in the store in a safe sandbox on a device, and this kind of data flow will never come out of the code, of the scope of the code which is written in a debot. So say we may have an interface for calling arbitrary HTTP calls. If your environment supports kind of basic internet connection, then the accepting an interface call to make a HTTP request will translate into execution this HTTP call inside your environment, and this is what debot browser should be capable of, just to implement all this logic. And just put the data back into debot debot engine. Then so browser will put the data back, and debot engine kind of will translate it by interface to that part of a code which is stored on blockchain, and it will make whatever it make, and this is just an event loop. So that's how you create kind of the user experience.
But how is that any different from Web3 then?
Well, yeah, the main difference between Web3 is that in Web3,
if you still, I mean, are you gonna download the web page each time? Because if then it's just like Web3, you have
one. May I?
Code.
Guys,
okay, what is Web3? What is Web?
Give me one
Web3.
second, please.
This is a library. You know, this is a library, and here you have like end-to-end vertically integrated stack.
Let me explain a little bit simpler from the high level. You can create an arbitrary interface on top of debot. This simplifies development of dApps in any way, because you have all logic which already was done, all logic which was done in debot. So in that respect, you can see it as a customized browser. So you can have Triton browser which customize and which could have some different interface elements which works fine for your debug. Of course, this is closer to Web3 in terms of that that interface will be accessible only at your website or at your browser. But what is important, you can have different interfaces for your debug. So you can have standard your standard interface, which is like simple one, and it will work the same in all browsers. But if you would like for your audience to create a specialized website which with special interface features, then you can do it second interface. So it's like dual interface approach. But you do firstly you do simple and quick interface accessible in all browsers, and then for your application you can create a specialized interface. That's approach.
Why shouldn't this be like a web browser, so a blockchain browser? So,
it could be, by the way, it could be application. I mean, you can create on top of the bot. On top of the bot, you can create application, and that's actually what's happening. So, Surf, when you see some pages, when you they now develop some pages which look like as custom pages, but they done on top of the bot. Since we have UI kit and we have the bot, then it's just like combining puzzles. So developing interface in that with that approach is very simple. But it will look as a custom page in application, but in reality, it's just combining puzzles.
But when you create a website, okay, we want to create a new internet, right? We want to create a new internet. So we want people to. So I think debug browsers or be a replacement to internet browsers, to things like Google Chrome and all that, because so we and just like that, you don't need to download. You can just type a URL or use search and get to your app without downloading it on anywhere. So I think there should be
No, you're breaking up. I think I've got your point. Guys, do you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I got your point. I fully agree. The question is about current situation. So you can currently there are limited number of interfaces available, but of course going forward, I mean there are like 160 interfaces in HTML. So once there will be that much interfaces in the web browser, of course, then you'll be able to make an arbitrary kind of web page in the web browser as well. But at the moment, if you would like, you can create general interface for some browser, or you can create some custom interface which for your use case. This is compromise, but it allows you not to wait. Of course, you can go into the bot consortium, offer some interface, and it will make your debot and your approach to interface more general and available for everyone. That's one way to do, and it should be simple as well, because I mean there's no bureaucracy at the moment. It can be done quite quickly. But if you do not want to wait or depend on any other process, you can create your custom interface. This is, I mean, of course, yeah.
maybe I should say that my question isn't practical, but an in principle question. It's not that I have some specific app I want to build. It's that I think it's more like a visionary thing. I think that's how it should be. And I'm asking, do you think we should work on it? Maybe we should create some contest to I don't know. I think you can't really specify UI in Solidity no matter what you do. So maybe there should be an interface that would interpret some, I don't know, maybe it just should be HTML, I don't know, but or something like that. But something, for example, from a file that would be stored on DriveGen or on Tonix or whatever, and you import it, and some interface would run it. And when you click certain buttons, when you input certain things in certain fields, it would then it would call certain debug functions.
That's not secure. If you can inject some code in on client side, then it will not be secure.
Why?
I agree that
because if you put the UI specification, the UI, I don't know, for example, an HTML file, you don't have to put it on
you're breaking up. Okay, guys, I think it is a long discussion. I agree with you that there should be some visionary discussion on the bot browser progress going forward, and I hope that Mitya will finally. He's gone. Okay. Anyway, it's a big discussion. I think we should create even some debot subgov for it, because it's a very specific thing. At the moment, there's a consortium, but it is mostly consists from people from the labs. Let's try to arrange some specific call for that. I asked to join Ekaterina and Web Counters to that call. Just quickly finalize or that contest, because I think it was already approved, that notification contest, and it should be uploaded onto forum and then uploaded for the vote. But I mean, just quickly, Katya or Web Counters, could you please quickly just say like about what the final decision on about that contest?
Yeah, I can say a few words now. I'm not prepared very much, but I wanted to share my screen. Host disabled participants. Can you please allow me to share it somehow?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Just a second. Yeah, you can now.
Okay, do you see it? Do you see my screen?
Yep. Yes, we do right now.
Good. Alexei shared it yesterday. So basically, I just dropped the link to our Telegram channel now. You can open it as well and comment on this contest. Basically, like we suggest to start the contest on September 15. It will last for 1 month. Voting will be 15 days. I think you discussed it at the previous call. I wasn't there, but I was told that you did. So here are a lot of corrections here. So basically, like the contest will be about HTTP notifications that will work on our queue that we provide. And I think that here are the requirements. So the minimum list of operations that the module must provide. And basically there is very small document. Well, I don't know. Did you discuss the rewards on the previous call?
On the previous call, I, as far as I remember, there were no rewards. There was just kind of the draft of the document, and there were a long and big and unproductive discussion about what kind of who can participate and how the services on top of this notification API will work, etc., etc. But that's like that. So basically, imagine that you like proposing its first time.
For the first time? Oh, it's not good because I have only like 5 minutes left. So basically this service will be used for such applications as Telegram bots or some IoT or some other HTTP servers that need some HTTP notifications, maybe some webhooks and stuff like that. And so basically we provide the queue and the contest participants will need to register. We provide the documentation how to do it, and there is a link to this documentation in this proposal.
Is this document in the chat? Like because
yes, I just dropped it.
Yes, that's very great and yeah, pretty understandable. And where is the formulation of task? I'm watching on the screen, so yeah, can you scroll to formulation of task?
This one.
So we have identification, get model description. Okay,
so basically how it will work, we already developed one dbot that will allow users to subscribe for some notifications, and with this dbot you can specify the filter of messages you want to subscribe to and specify the credentials of the notification provider you want to use and send. And this way you will register your subscription in our queue and register your device in a notification provider and start receiving notifications to your device. We will add also the instruction how to use the bot a bit later. So in the
configuration,
end,
the configuration of the say deep backend part of the system is made via dbot via some smart contract, right?
Yeah, so like the bot will send this filter for this condition what notification user wants to our backend. We will provide the data, ciphered data to our queue, and the notification provider will just take this data and match it with the credentials of the device and send it. So notification provider will not know exactly what it sends.
So it's part of a DApp server, right? This
it's part of cloud now. Now it's not part of DApp server. Yeah, for now it's only part of cloud. Yeah. So basically, what I wanted to discuss is the rewards. I'm not sure that it really worth 100,000 tons, but I heard that you already discussed it.
Well,
no, we didn't discuss.
We didn't discuss it. And who put the numbers? Just
Alexei.
I agree.
But he's not here, unfortunately.
Like I think that to make it worth 100,000 tons, it should be some like really great stuff, and the really great stuff is not built into weeks. So where is the vesting?
1 month, but part? 1 month. And also we will have 2 more contests. The next one will be about push notifications for Apple and Android, and the last one for emails. So it's not the only contest. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That the
So
price
for
should
now,
be that
we covering just use case with webhooks and Telegram bots,
Yes.
etc. Right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
let's formulate the task. Like maybe do some hints for developers. Like for example, you can is it included in the task? If so, just if so, then it will work.
It's what do you mean, like motivation? Like who needs it or what?
Like those who participate, they want maybe some formulation of in what form they should deliver the use case. So it should be the use case, some use case. It's not should be like a piece of code where you. So it must be some either product.
There should be vesting as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think that
it should be either some
here.
product, either some simple product or something like hello world kind of application, but in some entrepreneurial like fashion made so which includes kind of like, so it should be something
so you want to us to
focus.
describe the use case basically?
Yeah. So
end user
we had a contest which I liked very well. We had a contest which was called proof verification use case, Z stuff. Okay, and they made the use cases, for example, anonymous voting for some other use cases, maybe some games on top of. So like to make it kind of real, not just part of documentation or illustration or something like that, because we want like for people to make their eyes shine.
Yeah, and basically we will add, I already added today to the requirements that developers should add some test sandbox with HTTP server, so that with some UI, so that jurors can easily like judge it, check that it really works.
Yeah, so it may be not only server, but also it may be like a Telegram bot which you can push buttons and communicate,
like
and then you review code, and make like a review how it's written and is it written correctly, and that will be perfectly easy to judge if it will be wrapped in any UI, not only web UI.
Yes, some test stand should be present.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry, but
maybe
I don't
all.
have
And
actually.
the rewards are okay, I think.
Guys,
But
really
what is term of vesting? Can you please say what is the terms of vesting? Just a few seconds and that's it.
Yeah. What I share this page.
Up to 10K
reward
will
up
be
to
paid.
10K.
Above will be paid 20.
Guys,
12 months. That's okay.
Let's
stop. Let's accept
in 2
and
minutes.
vote. Let's just make last edits, accept and vote. I like this proposal, really.
Yeah, but are you sure with this rewards?
If you're asking me, yes, I'm sure. If you ask me, yes, I'm sure. But I think
will you participate?
Something somewhere there should be stated that first or second place or whatever place maybe will not kind of receive a reward if they like below some points or something like that, because maybe we will have
by the way,
simple submissions. And
that's very important.
So there should be some scale, kind of 100,000 of tons will receive those who received above 8 points, and 50,000 above 6 points.
Vanya, can you please write it in the Telegram channel with your thoughts about the prices?
Yes,
because I will not remember them. I will not remember them now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will contribute.
Should be one threshold. Yeah.
Just drop it into the channel so that Alexei will see it.
One threshold is like So if you need to go, like you're free to go, I suppose. But Pavel, I think Pavel, have you a time? A few minutes.
Actually, DeFi calls should be started.
Yeah,
right
okay,
now.
understood. So yeah, let's continue in the chat. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
then I will go now. Thanks.
Yeah, I need to go as well.
Thank you all.
So,
Yeah, please write.
thank you.
It's very important. Yeah.
All right. Yes.